Well, good morning, YouTube. My name's Larry Snyder. I am a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway in Camp Hill. I am kind of new to this, about 4 to 5 months into it. Uh, if you look me up, you'll see it calls me a can do realtor. There's a reason for that. Uh, a little bit of background on me. Uh, I was born and raised here in the area where I'm working now, in a sleepy little town about 6 miles east of here, or north of here, called Summerdale. They called it a village, and until the 80s, it wasn't even on a map. My office here is in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. I'm on what's called the West Shore, and the reason they call it the West Shore is you have the Susquehanna River, and on the east side of that river, literally, is the state capital. And you come west, and here we are. You have Lemoyne, New Cumberland, and Camp Hill. So here we are. A little bit of my background. I graduated from East Pennsboro High School, which is in Enola, Pennsylvania. At the same time I was going to high school, I attended Cumberland Perry Vocational School. My trade was auto body repair. We were trained to be auto combination men, which means we do it all, frame, repair, everything. Uh, the reason I took that up was I always had a love for old cars. My first car was a 55 Chevy Bel Air, and I owned quite a few old cars. Too few to mention. I wish I had them. I'd be rich right now. I had a gentleman. I started working out for my grandfather who had a gas station on Front and Verback Street in Harrisburg. It was an Amoco station during the 72 flood. That was the marker for the high water spot because the only thing sticking out of the water was the ball on top of the Amoco sign. I started working for him when I was 11 years old, and yes, I paid taxes, and I worked. At 13, I met a gentleman who had an auto body shop over here in Enola, and I was always interested in doing body work, and he took me in as an apprentice. So by the time I started Cumberland Prairie Tech in high school, I was already quite the body man. So there was times that I would come in, and well, what we did, we had a work thing. We could, at first, the first year, we would go to school for half the day, then go to vocational school half the day. The second year, you're allowed to go out and work, like a work assignment. So I would go to school in the morning and go to my job. Well, then we had to come in once a month. Well, when I come in once a month, because I was that accomplished, um, I would end up going down and teaching the other guys that are with me in my year, while the actual instructor would teach the newer guys. Um, when I graduated high school, and from there, I ended up getting a scholarship for Pittsburgh Aeronautics School, which at that time that was unheard of. I was the first one to ever receive that, which I didn't know anything about it. And the year before I graduated, I signed up and enlisted for the United States Navy. Um, 6 hours after graduation, I was on an airplane headed to Orlando for boot camp. After boot camp, I got the dream I always wanted. As a kid growing up, we always seen the movies from California, and I was headed off to a little town called Port Hueneme, and that's the home of United States Navy Seabees. That's where I went and did my A school. I became a CV heavy equipment operator and graduated from that, and from there my career in the Navy started. Uh, we have went to various locations across the world. One of my favorites was Okinawa, Japan. Loved it. Um, Also, right after Hurricane Hugo hit Puerto Rico, the battalion I was in, which was NMCB 5, we flew in as the Hurricane Eye came over, and while we were over there, we ended up running pretty much all the power plants, or the power plant, down in San Juan, getting it back up. We got the power back on, pretty much cleaned up. And to me, Puerto Rico was nice once we got back to some decent living. I mean, when we first went over there and landed, there was nothing. Um, no power, no. It was just a disaster. It looked like a bunch of matchsticks, all the trees just laid over. Anyhow, After the Navy, I got out. I was married. I lived in San Diego, California. That's where my wife stayed, actually, Chula Vista. Uh, I started a trucking company called Diego Trucking. It was a long haul trucking company. I did that for many years, so I got to see a lot of beautiful country that I actually, served to protect. And I've seen places that most people never see in their lifetime. I've been to every city in this country, a lot of little towns out in the middle of nowhere, but I loved it. And then one day I came into Florida, uh, down at the Vero Beach side. It's on the east coast of Florida, Vero Beach, Florida. And I had an aunt and uncle that moved from Pennsylvania down to Sebastian, Florida, which was just north of Vero Beach. Well, they both started a real estate company down there called Realty Place. And man, did they sell. He could sell. So I called him, and in about 10 minutes he was there, picked me up, went to his place on the water, and I love to fish. Well, after about 15 minutes of catching fish, and I mean catching them, I decided this is where I'm coming to. So 2 months later, I found a house there, bought my first house, and I ended up spending 25 years there. And an incident, my family, unfortunate, my sister and her husband had a fire in a place over here in Mount Holly, actually Gardner's, just north of Mount Holly Springs or south of it, whichever you want to look at it. They had a house fire. She got burned up pretty bad and ended up in the burn facility up in Allentown. So at this point, when I was in Florida, I had my own business running. It was an auto repair business. I would go to dealerships on their lots, fix their cars. I had customers that bring cars to my house. I mean, I was busy. And right before this incident with my sister happened, just like everywhere else in the country, we were having a bad time with the economy, and Florida kept crashing. People down there get tired of it. They were moving out. So basically, I had a whole year booked out, lost half my customers. So at that point, I put it in the man upstairs' hands, and he pointed me in the direction I needed to go, which pretty much was coming up here and helping get my sister back together, and my mother, taking care of them. I didn't plan on staying long term, but here I am. Again, while I was in Florida, my first house was in Sebastian, Florida. Then I bought a lot of land west of Sebastian, a little town called Fellsmere. Had a little horse ranch there, not little, it was a pretty good sized horse ranch there. And when the housing boom hit back in those days, somebody offered me the right price, and I sold it. Ended up buying a house in Vero Beach, Florida. So that was my third house. Got it good for a good price. That's where I was living before I moved back up here. What else to put on? One of the things I've learned to live by in my life, it has followed me throughout, even since the Navy, is the CB's motto is can do. Hence the can do realtor. There was nothing we couldn't do. I mean, there was always a saying, the hard we do first, the impossible we do last. And the reason we do the impossible last is because we have more time to do it. We'd knock the hard out, give us a lot of time to do the impossible, and we'd accomplish that task. And there's nothing you can't do in your life. It's the same thing. Now, for people thinking about getting in the real estate business, and this was the reason I got into it, my uncle told me all the different jobs I had to beat my body up. I needed to find something I could do when I got older. So here I am. For those that are thinking about getting in this business, let me tell you, you are your business. So you got to remember that. You got to put 100% into it, but at the same time, you got to have that balance. You ain't just going to get your license and wham bam, people are going to start knocking your door down. You got to fight for everything you get. I mean, fight, you're going to work. I have been working 8, 10, 11-hour days. I'm used to being physically tired, not mentally tired. And I'm going to tell you what, mentally tired, for you people working computers, I feel for you now, because it takes a long time to shake that off. A lot of people also think they get into this, they don't realize how much it costs. Okay, you get your license, that wasn't too bad. But to get going, you have a lot of money you got to lay out. Everybody's got their hand out, and it's not just a one-time thing. It's every year, every month. It costs a lot of money. Um, my advice is have a reserve, and I mean a big reserve. Um, like I said, I've been at this between 4, 5, 6 months. I don't remember right now. My mind's fried. Um, and I've only had one buyer come in. They didn't qualify. And of course, that's the realtor's fault because their credit's no good. And it's like I tell them, I don't control that. Um, Yesterday, I got a surprise call. A guy seen an ad I had on Craigslist. He called. I got him now getting qualified. Hopefully, he's going to be good. Out of all my stuff, everything they tell you to do, I have done it. I have done emails, letters, handwritten letters, cold calling. The only thing I will not do is door knocking. With what's going on in the world right now today, this is not a good thing to go out door knocking. No, I just don't see that. Uh, One of the things that got me really going, like doing this video here today, I'd have never thought about ever doing a YouTube video, was a young lady by the name of Stephanie Khabib. She's on here. She was working for the Berkshire Hathaway office in Harrisburg. She just started about the same time I did. But she's actually been in it with another company. She moved to Berkshire Hathaway about the time I came in here. And we get to talking online, and then like yesterday I sat down with a Zoom meeting with her. And she's younger, so she understands all this social media stuff. And she said I need to start doing these videos and just put myself out there. And she's right, it is uncomfortable. You don't know what you're going to say on these videos. So here I am, and I just hope you people like it. You get to know me. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up anybody's butt. I mean, one thing that followed through my life, if you don't want the truth of an answer, don't ask me that. Because the first thing I'm going to tell you, do you want to know the truth? Because if you don't, then you don't want to ask me that question. A very honest person. And I like helping people. That was one of the things I liked about being an ABCB. We were going out helping those. A lot of military guys will tell you, if you're true blue military, you lay your life down on the line for people you don't even know. And it's one thing, it's hard to find something like that out here once you get out. On that aspect also, I don't like to drum on it too much, but in the military, people don't understand us. You leave here, you have friends when you grew up. Like my friends, they call this the social sphere we're supposed to use. My friends I grew up with here, we grew up, went to school with each other from the time we were just little kids going to kindergarten till the day we graduated. So we know each other, we're like family. But when you go in the military and come out, if they have never been in the military, they don't understand you. It's hard to relate to them, because in there we actually had a bond and became, just like they say, brothers, sisters. You have that bond, and it's strong, and it doesn't matter if you knew the person or not. When you run into them and meet them, you know they're in the military, you have that bond. And one of the hobbies I have is, not hobbies, but things I love to do on my off time, is I'm a Harley rider. I love to ride. I've done that since I was able to drive, 16 years old. I learned how to ride on the Royal Enfield. And I meet a lot of people, do a lot of rides. And I've met a lot of veterans, and it's just like we knew each other all our lives. Again, I'm done drumming on that. Back to the real estate aspect of it, like I said, don't come in here and think it's going to be easy. People ain't just going to beat your door down. I mean, one of the things I'm trying to do here is not only have my Pennsylvania license, but I'm going to get my Florida license. The reason for that is I go back and forth to Florida. I am eventually going to be living back down in Florida. And a lot of people down there know me through my uncle. And when I was back down there last year, they were all like overzealous because I became a realtor. And my uncle, he since passed away, and they want me to get down there. There's a lot of business for me down there. So I'll probably have a dual license. Um, that is, if I get everything going up here. Hopefully, this will help reach some people. Uh, what else? Oh, when you get on some of these companies, they'll set you up a company website. Well, that website ain't very active. People click on it, they get to see your picture, they get to read you. I add stuff to it for people that have like interest to me, like cars, rides they could do on the motorcycles, school districts, so they could check it out, stuff like that. But that's about it. Um, so one of the best things you could do is get your own website. One, it's interactive, so people can search out homes. They can, um, I don't know, they can pretty much look up what they want. They can add, then call you because it directs them right to you. Uh, the only phone number I put on my personal website is my number. I don't like the idea of all the work I do, and I've done a lot of work prospecting and not getting stuff back because you don't know when people click on this company website if they're using my cell phone number to contact me or they're calling this office and somebody else takes your lead. You don't know. I ain't saying it happens. I'm sure it does. You know how this business is. It is cutthroat in a way. Um, I don't know what else to say. I'm just like in this area here. Like again, I'm in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. I love to hear from you people. If you like the video, like they say, hit thumbs up. If you got comments, please leave them. I'll read them. Um, I'm gonna try to put more videos out later on. Um, just kind of follow so you can see what happens. I'll even post some of my rides if some of you guys are interested. If you're into motorcycles, this is the place to be. A lot of, especially your sport bikes, a lot of windy, twisty roads, nice back rides. If you're into cars, can't pass it up. Biggest car show in the country, Carlisle Car Show. It's here. Then you got the Hershey Car Show. If you're into winter sports, you got skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, and I don't know what else to tell you about it. I just hope you like the video. Again, let me know what you think, and thank you for your time.